Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, and happy Veterans Day. It's a veteran update video. I remember back in 2018, it was when Hawaii had this. Everyone in Hawaii got a text message sent to them saying that an incoming enemy missile is inbound. There is no escape. Some crazy stuff like that. Turned out that was a mistake, but for a good hour or two, everyone had to. I know some friends that were stationed at Hickam at that time in Hawaii. One went to his grandparents' place, and he said that like he was freaking out, but his grandparents are fine. They're like, "Yeah, we got the text, but we just bought all this food, $600 worth of food," and they were more upset. They were like old school, like born in the '40s, like you had to ration your stuff. Uh, Grandparents more upset about the food that they just bought was gonna go to waste, as opposed to like the missile coming in and ending everything. Another friend of mine poured some whiskey in her coffee and went to work because you knew at that time. I mean, at that time, the mindset was like, oh, we might not come home. This is what, or we live, and then I'm going to be working 12-hour shifts, no days off for weeks, which I think they did. And there was a part of me. There was a bunch of us. Not that these veterans have like a group chat or anything, although some of us do. Where it's like, hey, do you want to go back? And in 2018, I was pretty fresh out. I got out really like 13 months prior in December of 2016, and yeah, it would have been feasible. I actually did try to go back in middle of that year. I had some unfortunate stuff happen to me that year, and they actually said no. They're like, yeah, you're a little too disabled for us. I was like, I had like my appendix taken out. I had a liver issue. They're like, we'll call again if we need you. And then the army was like, we can get you a waiver for that. So I did almost go back in 2018. I served the United States military from December 2012 through December 2016. God, it's been almost 9 years. Now it's getting to the point where even through 2020, they actually did call me back. They're like, "Hey, listen, we you served once before. Now in the pandemic, we're going to ask you to serve once again." And I sent them a meme, the Thanos meme, saying that you could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me. And no response. So I I hope the person that received that chuckled a bit. But even through in 2022, I think was the last time where, and at this time, like fresh millionaire from Omi, and I didn't like that Russia invaded Ukraine, and started running again, like in the snow. I was like, okay, let's in case something crazy pops off, and it's not just this war that's localized to this one region, and it goes, okay, let's get back in shape again. And now it's getting to the point where getting a little older here. If you ask Sparky, my she thinks I'm like 47, but I'm actually only 34, despite how I look. And yeah, when you sign up, you have these ideas of work and travel and war, and then you don't think that there's going to be an end to it. You just like, hey, whatever happens happens. You're not really planning ahead for 15, 20 years down the line, or even 10 or 5 years down the line, like enlistment to enlistment. I actually, yeah, it's crazy. You have some people that join at like 17, 18, and they kind of don't really know a lot of the outside world. They've never worked in that outside world. I worked for several. I've been working since I was like 14, and I had already had a couple careers before I joined the military. I was in the veterinary field for the better part of a decade before I joined the military. I joined at around 22, And so I was like one of the old guys, like in basic training, because everyone there's like 18, 19 years old. And I find it so strange that you have some of these people, some of these like politicians, anti-gun people, that just like, yeah, you know what? At 18 you can get a gun. That's insane. Like I was 18 once when I was in college. I don't know anyone that was responsible enough to have a gun as like I freaking do. 18, 19 year olds, some of the best men and women I ever served with. Uh, that being said, there's a lot of there's a lot of memes. Like mandatory fun day is a great one, and why you have these a lot of kids like kind of get out is because they can now see, okay, there is a life outside of the military. And but if you serve years ago, when you served from like 18 to whatever, you're like, you get this like propaganda like, oh, it's hard out there. And okay, fair point, sometimes it is. But it's like, military, they pay you enough. They hardly pay you at all, but they give you enough benefits to kind of make you stay. They're like, hey, listen, we give you free health care, you get your housing covered, and a little bit extra, just like for car payments and stuff like that. Childcare is well, child births are. I've always been told, if you're going to have kids, have them while you're in the military. So this way the hospital visit is free. Childcare is ridiculous. It costs so much. That is insane. How they're like gouging prices of like everywhere around base. The childcare prices, they just through the roof, because they know people on there on base, they have kids. Anyway, I'm getting farther from the point here. Point is that I freaking love this country. I love it so much. And there's always a part of me that's going to want to. I mean, obviously, we hope for peace everywhere, right? Especially for our crypto bags. But part of us is always going to want to serve. Part of us always be like, yeah, like this sucked. Like a lot of the stuff is hard, and it sucks, and it doesn't make sense. And again, Mandatory Fun Day has these amazing videos on like how the military makes zero sense and how it's awful, and you trauma bond, and it's like it is the best and worst job I've ever had. You meet some of the best people in the world, you bond with them, you trauma bond with them, and they get like ripped away from you in many different ways. A lot of times just change of shifts, a lot of times it's PCSing, they go to permanent change of station elsewhere, deployments. Sometimes they make that ultimate sacrifice and they just don't come back and they're not around anymore. And there was a time where I was in 2019, 2020. I had some of my New York friends and my military friends kind of merged for a bit. Stories on Facebook, it's wild stuff. Our friend Emma had noticed that we all, and I still do this, every time you put on boots or shoes, always shake them, turn them upside down, shake them. And they're just like, why do you guys do that? And all three of us like scorpions. Because you have to make sure that when you're in the desert, spiders and scorpions and all that, they look and they hide in the boots, and you have to check and make sure that they're not in there, because God forbid you step on it and a scorpion stings you. Horrible times. And then we had all basically went around in our little group and just like, yeah, this is why it was shitty, this is why it was awful. And then at the end, just like, best job I ever had. I don't know what to call that, where when you're deployed and all you want to do is just like come back to the US, sit in a recline chair, have a burger and a beer. It's like, oh, sounds so good. And then 2 weeks after you get back, you're like, I wish I was back. Doesn't make sense. Unless you're in, you won't understand it. And yeah, that serving part, that never goes away. Like I have one of the most amazing lives right now. I got many needs taken care of. I've got, again, great status, a great network, great money coming in. Like this is a fantastic life. that most people in the world would kill to have. And if anything popped off, again, I'm severely injured now, and I don't know if I would pass a PT test, but I would try. I would at least try just to see if I could do it, and be like, okay, if you could take me, cool. It'd be fun. I mean, it would suck, but going back again, serving. Anyway, this is a quick story. I don't want this to get too long, but there is something that I wrote for daCat, actually. My little kitty brand. I've walked through deserts and snowstorms, worked under foreign skies, and have seen the earth through the eyes of someone serving in the American military. Despite the vicissitudes of the past, some fairly recently, I still think this is the greatest country in the world. I really do. I believe that every man, woman, and child have the right to stand up, dream, and do what it is that they want to do. America is still the land of opportunity, and my dream is with daCat. I've seen what tyranny looks like. I've seen silence when there should be speech, fear where there should be freedom and joy. Through daCat, I embrace one of the oldest and noblest traditions of America: freedom of speech and the written word. daCat will provoke, blast through prejudices, and challenge preconceptions. daCat will leave you different than when it found you. We won't let haters, a YouTube personality, or even politicians tell us what to read at and laugh at. On this day, we at daCat enjoy the freedoms given to us by every veteran that served before us. And you will be able to get daCat on VeVe within the next few months. It'll be a great comic book, and I can't wait for it. So to all my brothers and sisters out there that I've served with, I will eat all of the free food today for you guys, because I know not everybody does that, but I take full advantage. I can't wait, and we'll try to honor you in the daCat comic when it comes out, or it might be a few issues in. I'll keep you posted. Anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi, and if you know a veteran, cash app them. No, I'm joking. Just, even if you don't say it verbally, which you don't have to, but just go in, if you know, and just be like, "What's up, man? How's it?" Just be cool to them today. That's all I ask. That's it. Bye, guys. Meow, meow, meow.